Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos or Ethan here, and today I am going to be presenting to you guys my top 10 wingers in the NHL right now. So starting off this video, guys, I want to just have a quick disclaimer here that this video is not meant to offend anybody. It is simply my opinion and my rankings as far as the 2018-19 NHL season went, as well as where players ranked. The way I'm going to be ranking these players, guys, is based on their points, what team they played for, and their role. So starting off, I'm going to do a couple honorable mentions here. I have 4 honorable mentions. The first one is going to go out to Mark Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights. The second one is going to go out to David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins. The third one is going to go out to Claude Giroux of the Philadelphia Flyers. And the fourth one is going to go out to Blake Wheeler of the Winnipeg Jets. All these guys are absolutely fabulous wingers, all play top line for their team, but just weren't quite in the top 10 in my opinion. So guys, here's my top 10 wingers as far as the NHL goes right now. Coming in at number 10, I have Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche. This season, Mikko Rantanen played on one of possibly the top lines in the NHL alongside Nathan MacKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog. In just 74 games, Mikko Rantanen was able to put up 87 points. He had 31 goals and 56 assists on really just a top-heavy line for the Colorado Avalanche. Rantanen possesses an elite shot. He gets into the right spot all the time, and it becomes even easier for him when Nathan MacKinnon's feeding him the puck. Moving on to number 9, I have Artemi Panarin of the Columbus Blue Jackets. This season, Artemi Panarin played with Columbus, who was able to sweep the top team Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs, and this season Panarin put up 87 points in 79 games. The reason I ranked Panarin ahead of Rantanen is because his line wasn't as good, so he didn't always have ice time with the best players on his team, and was still able to put up 28 goals and 59 assists, as well as staying plus 14 on the season. Artemi Panarin, again, an elite shot. He's a sniper, but his playmaking is just as good. He set up, what's his name? He set up Atkinson at least 20 times during the season, so a very good playmaker, speedy, quick, skilled. He's the entire package as far as a winger goes. Moving on to number 8, we have Jonathan Huberdeau of the Florida Panthers. This season, Jonathan Huberdeau was able to put up 92 points in 82 games. He had 30 goals and 62 assists, even though he was minus 14 on a rather weak Florida Panthers team. Sure, you could say Alexander Barkov helped a bit with Huberdeau's points, but Huberdeau was still one of the top point-scoring wingers in the entire league this year, guys. He had a career year, I would say, and I don't know if we're going to see it again from Huberdeau. The 25-year-old left winger was able to set up guys on his team over and over and over again and just possesses an underrated amount of speed as well as skill. Moving on to number 7, and this may come to a shock for some people, but I have Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. This season, Marner put up 94 points in 82 games. He was able to score 26 goals as well as putting up 68 assists. I believe that was third or fourth highest in the league, guys, as far as assists go. He was also plus 22 on the year, playing on a pretty solid top line for the Toronto Maple Leafs alongside John Tavares or Austin Matthews, as well as Kapanen, or they've got a multitude of good forwards on that team. The reason why I'm ranking Marner at 7 here is because he was outscored by a couple wingers, as well as Toronto was swept in the first round. I do believe Tavares helped a lot with those 94 points, but at the same time, I've heard many people say that Marner was the best player on the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. Moving on to number 6, so just outside of the top 5, I have
Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. This may sound like a little bit of a shock to you guys, since Draisaitl was able to put up he was the only player in the league to put up 50-50 as far as his points. He had 50 goals and 55 assists for 105 points in just 82 games played. Draisaitl was only +2 on the year on a weak Edmonton team that didn't make the playoffs. It is said that Draisaitl had the McDavid effect, where Connor McDavid was setting him up on a lot of the plays, and yes, his 50 goals could suggest that, but he still had 55 assists. He was setting up other players, whether it was McDavid or other Oilers, and Draisaitl's speed, skill, and size, as well as his shot, allowed him to go 50-50 on the year. Moving on to my top 5 wingers now in the NHL. Coming in at number 5, we have Johnny Gaudreau of the Calgary Flames. This speedy, skilled, undersized winger played in all 82 games this year for the Calgary Flames and came up just shy of 100 points at 99 points on the season. He scored 36 goals and had 63 assists, setting up his line mates Matthew Tkachuk, Sean Monahan, and Elias Lindholm countless times throughout the year. He was also +18 on the year as Calgary made the playoffs, but unfortunately were swept by the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. Johnny Gaudreau doesn't let his size get to him. He plays with a ton of skill and speed and quickness that a lot of other players just simply don't possess. His smaller frame allows him to get into tighter areas and lets him score more as a result. Moving on to number 4, I have Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. The reason why I have Ovechkin a little bit lower than most would suggest here is simply because he didn't put up great points this year. Yes, he had 51 goals, but it really wasn't that much as Washington didn't do great in the playoffs. But 51 goals, it's still just an amazing feat for a 33-year-old winger. He's the captain of the Washington Capitals, led him to a cup last year, and he was +7 on the year as well. He also had 38 points, or 38 assists, but he was only able to total 89 points on the year. That's why I have ranked him at number 4. Ovechkin is a power forward sniper. He's got possibly the best shot in the league. I would say if it's not the best, then it's probably second best. And just an absolute power forward of a winger there for Washington. Moving on to number 3 on this list, I have Brad Marchand of the Boston Bruins. This season, Brad Marchand came in 5th in league scoring, which is absolutely absurd. He was able to score 36 goals and added on another 64 assists for 100 total points in just 79 games played. Marchand was also +15 on, again, one of the top lines in the league, playing alongside Patrice Bergeron and David Pastrnak. Marchand, you hate to play against him, but you'd love to have him on your team. This undersized 30-year-old winger possibly just had his career year for the Boston Bruins, and I wouldn't expect him to score this much again, but this season Marchand was lights out, made the right plays all the time, and was just absolutely amazing on the year. Moving on to the second best winger in the NHL, I have Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks. This 30-year-old right winger was able to put up 110 points in 81 games played. He had 44 goals and 66 assists on a rather weak Chicago team that just missed the playoffs, but don't be surprised if those numbers drop a little bit. I do believe Kane overscored a little bit on a weak Chicago team. I don't know if he's going to have another year like this. He'll probably be putting up 90, 95 points still, but I would not expect 110 out of him again. But Patrick Kane finished 3rd in league scoring there. 110 points. That's just absolutely ridiculous. And moving on to my top winger in the NHL, this shouldn't come as a surprise, guys. I have Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning. this season, Kucherov really started coming into his prime on a very talented and skilled Tampa Bay Lightning team. The 25-year-old winger was able to put up 41 goals as well as 87 assists in 82 games played for 128 points. Kucherov was plus 24 on the year, and his speed, skill, and shot were just unmatched this year in the league, guys. He out-assisted Connor McDavid, which is amazing. Most players don't even come close to that, but 87 assists is something to be proud of as is. Kucherov, unfortunately, was eliminated from the playoffs with Tampa Bay in the first round by Columbus, but I would honestly not be surprised if he's at the top of this list again next year. That's how good he is. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys are still watching, if you watch to the end, go and subscribe to the channel right now. What are you doing? And if you enjoyed, go down below, leave a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm and helps me get more views on my channel. And that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. This is Etanyos signing out, and see ya.